G'day viewers, well got some mail today. So here's my my very first electricity meter. It's an Email Limited electricity meter in Allied Industries Limited, which is what it stood for. It's the type M-2, made in Australia. Bakelite with a glass front. It's a bit dusty inside, so it's done over 10,000 kilowatt hours. It's 10,000, 1,100 tenths and 1. So it's done, I would say, about probably 11,000 or 10,927 kilowatt hours and 8 tenths. And there's your speed adjustments when you're calibrating the meter. I'm going to cut these anti-tamper seals for the very first time, because I'm going to open it up and give it a good inspection, because it has got dust and other sorts of muck inside. I don't want to clean out of the meter, because that dust might get into the bearings of that load disc and cause all sorts of nasty things in that meter. There's a very delicate inside, so cut it carefully. Keep these aside, I don't want to lose these. That's fine, I'll put that there, I won't lose it. That one there, we'll just very carefully here. I think this little serial number 76Q31664, I think that must the date code in there, so it might be a 1964 model. It's the first time I've opened it up, so as you can see in the video, from Queensland, so it's got all the bits of coastal saltwater nastiness, tropical weather. Hopefully that hasn't done too much damage in there. Now this tells you how to wire it up. The line goes in active, in through the meter and out to your load, then your neutral. Okay, viewers, and pulling these meters apart, very carefully get a screwdriver, hold that one there, and hold this one on top as additional leverage. Be very careful not to chip the bakelite, and that should just break the seal and come off, just like that. And it's a bit, the cork seal is all intact, so that's good. Put that aside. Ooh, it smells vintage. As you can see, I get this little torch here, you'll be able to see the what the tropical weather has done to this. Bit of corrosion in there, so see if the wheel spins. Hold it up like this. Should be able to spin the wheel. And the wheel moves, so that's good. There's your little adjustment there. There's all brass drive train, or you want to call it, the gears. Another adjustment there. I'm going to give this a bit of just a general look over, make sure nothing's bad in it. It was sold as a non-functioning meter, so I'm going to just give a good careful inspection of the insides of this. And you've got to be very careful, there's lots of delicate parts in there. Those brass cogs are very, very thin. I don't want to muck those up or bend them in any way. As you can see, this adjustment screw's gotten some tropical weather in there, and it's just rusted it. There's a little strip in there. So yeah, I'm gonna just see what falls out if I shake this, see what all the dust falls out of it. Yeah, lots of corrosion in there. I'm gonna try and remove the guts out of it, so I could get to the back coil and give it a good inspection. So I've got to undo those screws in there by the looks of it. I might give those connections a good clean out. They are very nasty. So that's gonna work as a resistance joint, and the meter's just going to run hot, and the meter probably won't work properly. So as you can see there, the main connection has just gotten so corroded it doesn't even look like it's got good electrical conductivity anymore. So yeah, I'm going to get to that back coil in there, make sure that's got good connection and that hasn't been destroyed by rust or anything. So yeah, let's give this thing apart more. Okay viewers, I got the main working components out. It all just comes apart easily. That bolts off of here, which rides on this little worm gear, which drives that gear on there, which in turn runs these little dials. Now this meter wheel, if you look carefully, in there's all bits of rust, and the wheel's actually locked up. It's just the Queensland weather has actually gotten the moisture over the years has gotten in there. It's rusted that starter stuck in that coil, which what pulses, I believe, this wheel and makes that wheel move. And this moisture's gotten in there, and not only has it done damage to that, it's also raw on these bolts which hold the load connections on. There's a bloody nightmare to get off. Also a very, very odd size, so I had to very carefully get these off and just brush them down with a wire brush. The main bolt, which I think holds the, yeah, it went over here somewhere, which held the part of the meter here on this little rubber damper, which bolted under here. You can see here it's just corroded the crap. So that was okay, that's okay, and this didn't withstand any damage from tropical moisture. Look here, this thing is absolutely just surface rusted to, yeah, just unbelievable. That bolt there will have to be polished up and cleaned. And there's where the big amperage goes through. I think that goes to the house, I believe. You got two which power that coil, and the load go into those big ones. They got line goes through that bottom coil, which is a big one. That's the line and load, which goes to that big coil. And your phase, which, yeah, that also taps off to the big top coil, which powers that wheel, or that load wheel. So yeah, I'm gonna have to try and figure out. I'm gonna have to get this apart and just clean all this surface rust out, because it's actually sitting on those permanent magnets and jammed up this load wheel. So that's probably why the seller said this was non-functioning, because the wheel wasn't actually turning. So if I clean all this rust and all this gunk out of it very carefully, and yeah, have to wire brush this core here. I'm going to have to wire brush these laminations, get them as clean as I can get them, and get to those permanent magnets without scratching up this wheel, and clean up all the bits of rust out of that, and this wheel will be freed up again. So it's actually the tropical weather that's actually killed this meter. But a bit of TLC, this meter will be running like new again, once again. So I'm going to have to undo that, slide those bearings out and lift that load wheel out. So yeah, it'll be a delicate operation on here. So this will be part one, so yeah, more on this. I want to get some spare time. As you can see, I got a lot of work to do on this, a lot of cleaning. So for now, thanks for watching.